FastMCP 3 implements a transform-based component pipeline that applies functional modifications to tools as they flow from providers to clients, using middleware patterns for name resolution and pure functions for sequence transformations. This architecture enables dynamic component adaptation through stack transforms that execute in a defined order, with server-level transforms processing already modified components from provider-level transformations. We'll examine how a namespace transform prefixes tool names at the server level, demonstrating the initialization of a FastMCP instance with transforms and the automatic registration of a tool function that gets namespaced according to the configured prefix. The code reveals how the transform modifies the tool's exposed name while maintaining the original implementation, with the naming convention following an underscore-separated pattern for tools. From FastMCP, import FastMCP. From FastMCP server transforms, import namespace. MCP equals FastMCP server. Transforms equals namespace v1. At MCP, tool. Def greetname, SDR. Return f hello name. Hash all tools become v1 tool name. This code demonstrates server-level namespace transformation in FastMCP 3, where all tools are automatically prefixed with v1 to prevent naming conflicts when composing multiple servers. The namespace v1 transform is applied at server initialization, creating a consistent naming scheme across all components without requiring manual configuration for each tool. The @MCP tool decorator registers the greet function as a tool, automatically using the function name as the tool name and generating the input schema from type annotations. When the server processes this tool, the namespace transform modifies its name to v1 greet before exposing it to clients. This approach simplifies API versioning and component isolation, though it requires clients to use the transformed names when making requests. The pattern shows how server-level transforms operate after provider-level transforms, giving them visibility into already modified component names. This two-tiered transformation system enables flexible composition while maintaining clean separation of concerns. The namespace prefix follows FastMCP's convention of using underscores for tools and prompts, while resources would use path segments in their URIs. Let's break it down. From FastMCP, import FastMCP. Imports the FastMCP class from the FastMCP module, making it available for creating MCP server instances. From FastMCP server transforms, import namespace. Imports the namespace transform class from FastMCP's server transforms module, which provides functionality for prefixing component names to avoid naming conflicts when combining multiple servers. MCP equals FastMCP server. Transforms equals namespace v1. Creates a FastMCP server instance labeled server with a namespace transform that prefixes all component names with v1. The server identifier appears in MCP protocol handshakes for client identification, while the namespace transform modifies component names to prevent naming conflicts when composing multiple servers. At MCP, tool. Def greetname, SDR. Defines a function named greet that takes a string parameter name and returns a string, decorated with @MCP, tool to register it as an MCP tool. The decorator automatically uses the function name as the tool name, the docstring if present as the description, and generates an input schema from the type annotations. Return f hello name. Returns a formatted string that embeds the value of the name variable into the greeting hello name. This uses an f-string to interpolate the variable directly into the string literal, producing output like hello Alice, when name is Alice. FastMCP3's transform pipeline enables dynamic component adaptation through stacked transforms, with server-level transforms like Namespace processing already modified components from provider-level transformations. The example demonstrates this two-tiered system by initializing a FastMCP server with a Namespace v1 transform, which automatically prefixes all tool names with v1 to prevent naming conflicts when composing multiple servers. When the greet function is decorated with @mcp_tool, it's registered as a tool with the function name as its identifier, and the namespace transform modifies its exposed name to v1 greet while preserving the original implementation. This approach simplifies API versioning and component isolation, though it requires clients to use the transformed names when making requests. The key insight is that server-level transforms operate after provider-level transforms, giving them visibility into already modified component names, enabling flexible composition while maintaining clean separation of concerns.
The nameless function becomes v1 greet before it, even whispers hello.